Welcome back, guys. So per popular demand, we are going to do another episode of low cost, high profit items. So just a quick recap on what this series is exactly about. It is about the power of smalls. How much money can be made off of the smaller items, the items that you wouldn't necessarily think this is where the majority of my money is going to come from. And in the last videos, I gave you several examples, and there have been a ton of people that have went out, they have made those, and they have sold them. They've sold a lot. In the last episode, we just gave a basic breakdown of this concept. So if it's going to take you 2 days to make a piece of furniture and you receive $400 out of that piece of furniture, that's awesome. But what could you have made by selling smalls in that exact same amount of time? And then once you have that $400 piece of furniture made, how long is it going to take you to sell it? Unless it's a custom item. Small sell fast and small sell in bulk. So usually when someone purchases one of your smalls, they're not just going to buy one, they're going to buy several because they're going to be gifting these things. So I'm going to show you some more ideas that I found that I think that would be hot. Okay, so I picked this one first just because of how easy it is to make by how cool that it looks. This will sell, okay? So this whole piece is made of strips, maybe except for the outside piece. It may be a 1/2 inch or 3/4, but the rest of it is all going to be 1/4 inch strips. And that's all that they have done. And you can do this with a 2x4, or right now it's actually probably cheaper to do it with a 2x8 or a 2x10, but just turn it on its side, cut 1/4 inch strips, and then start gluing and pin nailing some of this stuff together. The boards in the back, they actually look like they're fastened to the frame because it actually sits off the wall a little bit. And everything for this project is done simple. And there's a lot that you can do with those little strips. So a lot of times these strips may just be in your scrap pile from, cutting the edges off of 2x4s to square them up. But you can make a lot of cool things out of those strips. Let me show you another one. Tobacco baskets. These are like mini ones. And this is, again, from my favorite place on earth, Pottery Barn. $129 for a set of 3. And the original tobacco baskets were around 4 or 5 foot wide. They were huge. These are small ones. I mean, you can tell by the size of the book and the plant. I mean, these things aren't but like this big. But these strips are so thin, and may even be thinner than 1/4 inch because these are woven. A little bit of time, you can pump these out. You're not going to get $130 for it. I would be ashamed to ask someone $130 for it. But stained and distressed right, you could easily get 50 or 60 bucks for the set. And in the last video, we talked about holiday items, how holiday items sell. People will spend money on holidays, their kids, their grandkids, their pets. Okay, those are just given. They will actually splurge to do these type of things. This is actually really neat. People like different type of decorations just around the house or centerpieces for the table for the different seasons. This is actually made out of all 2x2s, so even easier. There's a lot of 2x2 projects out there right now, like the garden, obelisk. But anyway, when you're doing a 2x2 project, do not purchase 2x2s. 2x2s right now are around $4 for an 8-foot stick. Before we would say, make your own 2x2s by cutting down 2x4s. Well, now 2x4s are so expensive, that is not the case. It is actually cheaper to cut your 2x2s out of 2x8 material. So 2x8s right now are $10.98 at my local big box store. So you can rip that down and get 4 2x2s for $10.98. So by using a 2x8, you can actually save $5 or $6 and have that 1-inch strip left over to do some of your other projects. But this project takes probably about a stick of 2x2 stock, paint, a little bit of grass string, and you can easily get 20 bucks out of this set. And we've talked about 4x4 projects. This one caught my attention because I have not seen this done before. So this is just a little mug tree. Untreated 4x4s, there's not a whole lot of things that you can do with them, so you can find them for cheap. If you come across some old untreated 4x4s, pick them up. There's a lot of companies that have stacks of these things. They're just stacking skids, or what we would call dunnage in a sawmill setting, but you can pick them up for next to nothing. And it looks like that's all that they've done is slice them into 4x4 cubes, put a base on it that's just a little bit bigger, and then added some coat hooks. The coat hooks are going to be your most expensive items, but you can probably pick those up in bulk on Amazon. I know that they're getting 20 to 30 bucks out of these things. They're just offset, glued together, and putting their own twist for the color design. And with things like this, you can make them so cheap that you can make several different colors. Everybody's color scheme in their house is totally different, so have something there for everyone. Of course, your whites and your neutrals are going to sell a lot better, but be prepared for anything. Baskets. Everyone loves baskets. If you go into people's houses, especially with primitive decor, even if it's not primitive decor, they're going to have some type of a basket either sitting outside on their porch or inside of their house. So depending on what type of style that they have will depend on what style of basket that they're going to choose. So provide them both. This one is actually made out of tobacco sticks. So if you live in a place where you have access to tobacco sticks, there's a lot that you can actually do with those, and they already have that worn look. If not, you can make your own. You can cut your own little strips, and you can distress those down to look like this. Or you take pieces of barn wood and cut strips out of that. Another alternative to this would just be staining pieces of fence pickets. We've done a lot of fence picket projects in the last few weeks. You're going to have little scraps of that. Perfect for things like this. So that's why you always hang on to those little scraps for the 1 days. And this is a 1 day project. But if you want to make more of the clean look, then you can go back to those little 1/4 inch strips that we had talked about earlier. Make your little basket like that, make it nice and clean. But this one with this rustic look, that's all they've done is they've thrown some nails in there, and it looks like just rope handles. And you would be surprised at what someone would spend for this. This company is actually out of stock. Okay, there's a waiting list that you can sign up for to get these. If it was me marketing this, it would be $50 bottom dollar, and if I was actually making this out of tobacco sticks, it would be even more because you're buying the history and the story. And this next one is just something that I made within the last couple of weeks, messing around with power carving. It actually turned out pretty cool. It was made out of an old piece of cherry that I had just laying around. It was just an offcut. And I took a power carving disc and just kind of made these contours in it. It's almost like a canyon. It was super cool just as it was, you know, a little bit of urethane. It would have made a perfect just piece of wall art. Then I decided to see what else I could do with it. So I added epoxy resin, you know, to fill in all of those voids, to actually make this look three-dimensional. You still see all those contours, all that cool stuff, but it's flat. So you could have a charcuterie board, centerpiece for a table. So this was just an example of what you can do with some scraps that were laying around. Again, wall art, charcuterie board, decoration, any way that you do it, I'm charging 30 to 50 bucks for this thing. Another perfect example of the 4x4s. Okay. So all they've done is taken the 4x4, they've cut it down, and again, more fall decor. So you're getting ready for the seasons that are coming up. So whenever you're batching this stuff up, and that is the power of smalls, is being able to create this in batches, mass produce. That's all that they have done with this, is made 3 different sizes. Looks like maybe a 16, a 12, and maybe an 8. Painted them black, and then waited for that to dry, went back over, and then painted them with orange. Sandpaper to rough up the edges. That gives you your look. The tops, tree branches. Sliced up tree branches, glued those on. You use CA glue, wood glue, tie a little grass string around there, and obviously they're getting $52 for the set, but you could charge $25 to $30 for the set, and people will buy them. Stars. Stars have always been in. Stars are one of those things that if done correctly, people will buy them. They're going to be bought for children's rooms. They're going to be bought for farmhouse decor. They will be bought for regular just decor inside of your house. There's several different ways that you can make these stars. This first one is super cool. This is again those 1/4 inch strips that we were talking about. You can lay them out in this shape of the star, glue and then staple these on. If you did not want to use those thin 1/4 inch strips, you can actually buy some 1/2 inch fence pickets. It will give you that distressed look. Cut those down and use those. If I was selling this, I would stage these up with the flowers and just use that as a staging item, but they can decorate it however they want. But remember how we have talked about people cannot visualize what things will look like. That's where you come in, you help them. And I've seen these done painted white distress, black distress, all different colors. They have theirs for sale for $45, but you can easily get 20 bucks all day long out of these things. And I'm going to hit back on one that we discussed in one of our previous videos, because we have been using fence pickets for a lot of our projects. The reason why we have been using fence pickets is because they are cheap right now compared to any other type of wood. But this was made out of fence pickets. You can still see the rough look, and that's what they're going for. They're going for that saw mark look. They've cut all these angles on 45s. They've painted them. They've sanded them down to make them look distressed, make them look faded, and give it that quilt look. This will sell like crazy. This one's for sale for $435, and I can guarantee you that they have less than $10 worth of material in it. Super cool look. I would market this as art, because to me this looks like art. I would hang it on my wall, stage it up nice, you know, hang it behind a sofa. This is the prime example. This is the gold mine. This is what you are looking for. Super high profit, low cost. And again, I'm going to repeat this because I think it is very important. Anything that you sell, make sure to have your own tag on there. Make sure to have your tag with your logo and your contact information, because a lot of these small items are going to be given as gifts. And anytime that someone gives that gift, they're also giving your contact information and the person who made that. So if you put the price tag on it, try not to put it on that tag or make it to where it can come off really easy, because you don't want someone removing your contact information to take the price tag off. There's so many times that people get these type of things as gifts and they have no clue where they came from, but they would like to buy some more to give as gifts themselves. Provide that information for them. If it looks nice enough, they will keep it on there whenever they gift it, because it adds to the look of the product. Again, to find this stuff, get on Pinterest, get on Etsy, get on Kirkland's, even get on Pottery Barn. Look at all their different stuff. Get some ideas from that. Have your little notebook out. You're jotting down ideas of things to make. Screenshot. Save them in a certain album. Do not replicate it exactly, but put your twist to it. Do your homework. You've got this. It's as easy as that. And we will not only be doing videos on smalls, but we will be doing videos on high profit and low cost. I know that there are different skill levels out there, and I know that there are people with different levels of machinery out there. So as your business grows and you're putting money back into your business and you're going up from your different tools, from your jigsaws to your bandsaws and things like that, then this channel can grow with you. So I'll be showing some other items besides smalls. We'll be showing mediums, and we will be showing larges. This is actually an upcoming video where I will be showing you how to make a mid to large high profit item. So stay tuned for that. Thank you so much for watching, guys. Until next time, go out there, do your homework, do some research, find some ideas for yourself. Scroll the internet, find some ideas, make some smalls, and make that money. See ya. So in the putting money back in. The hell was that?